Hey there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to the Trinity Stamps YouTube channel. In today's card making video, I am turning this popsicle into a PUPsicle, and I'm going to make a paw print cookie too because I love critters, I love treats, I love card making. So let's just mash it all together. I'm using the Popsicle Die Set and this double scoop paper pad. This is going to be the background for my PUPsicle, and here's what the pieces look like die cut out from the Popsicle Die Set. I'm going to make a shaker because, I mean, why not? When you've got this die set that has a window, like, I just have to. I can't not make a shaker card when there's a die that has a window. So I glued down this top layer to a window sheet, and when I'm cutting this, I'm turning my scissors kind of at an angle so that the underneath blade is angled towards the paper, and that's going to help when I cut that none of that window sheet's going to show from the front. So that's glued in place and ready to go. Next, we need some foam tape. So this foam tape from Trinity Stamps are very thin, and when you remove both sides of the backing so that you reveal the sticky sides, it curves around so easily, and it doesn't get any of those like ripply bumps. So it is great for shakers with that have like this, a small kind of frame, a thin frame. So that's what I'm doing here, and I am going to put a piece of foam tape up the center, and that's just going to help this to be more sturdy. I don't really need to divide it because I'm going to put sprinkles in this that are the same color on both sides. I kind of wanted this to look like mint chocolate, so that's why I went with this paper right here, and then I am gluing the stick to the back of that pattern paper and then gluing both down to the white popsicle piece because then it's going to be a little bit more sturdy than just patterned paper. So here's my sprinkles. They're espresso color, or chocolate. So I'm going to put them in two columns on this background piece so that I can then add that top window piece over the top. And then I've got a really cute shaker. I mean, this is just cute, right, like this. But why wouldn't we turn it into a popsicle? We have the new cat and dog mug add-on, but you don't have to put the cat and dog faces just on a mug, right? So I'm putting them on this popsicle today, making a popsicle. So I wanted to show you, I used the smallest circle die from our new circle die set. This clean cut circle layers, the smallest one from set B, fits perfectly behind these eyeballs for the dog. So there we have it. And then this piece normally is going to stand straight up and down. I turned it on its side and trimmed it off because I needed to make the eye patch for my dog a little smaller on this particular shape than it would be if I put it on a mug. Now, if you want to see what these look like on a mug, I did a video for that already, and it's really cute. So I will link that for you below. Next, I am adding on the ears. I did the eye patch light brown, so I did the ear that covers that dark brown, and then the other ear the light brown, which just gives him so much character. And there's so many different ways you can play with this set. I mean, my other cards I did with this, they were rainbow, like a rainbow dog mug. You have to see it. It's so cute. All right, so there I added the eyebrows as well. He's got his nose. The nose on top of the nose, that is the cat nose. I just love it. It kind of looks like a heart. I'm putting it on all my noses. And then this is going to get added to the popsicle. So if you're wondering about the tongue, it's not a die. I actually cut that just freehand from a piece of paper. But I also use the stripes from one of the stripes from the cat on my previous project. So options. All right, let's pull out the checkered background stencil. I'm using milk chocolate ink for my first layer and almond butter. No, I think it's hazelnut. Sorry, hazelnut ink for my second layer. And look at this. I just love this stencil so much. Plus, we have the new paw print add-on. I can't even. It's the cutest. I love it so much. So I just moved this around, and I decided I only wanted my paw prints to be on the lighter colored squares. So I'm taking some paper tape and I'm going to mask off the dark rows, and then I won't accidentally ink them. I mean, maybe one time, but that's it. So back in with the milk chocolate ink and going right over the top, and that's going to put a cute little paw print in each of those checkers. And then I just need to move my tape again so I don't mess up, except for that one time. I didn't capture it on film, but you'll be able to see where the mess up one is in just a minute. So now I brought in the heart add-on stencil, which is from a previous release. When this checker background first came out, we had the hearts and the X's during Valentine's Day. And so I'm filling that in with cracked pistachio ink. Can you see over to the left-hand side, the paw print where I messed up? Oh well, it's going to be covered actually by my Popsicle, so it's fine. While I still had a little ink on that brush, I brush it onto the stick here, and that's ready to go. But now we need to make our cookie. So I'm using the paw print shaker tag. I'm going to cut off the little loop. I don't need it for my cookie, and then that's the base. Next, I'm going to use the frame piece. I'm going to die cut that, but keep the frame for something else and use the actual shapes of the paw print. So again, while there's still ink on this brush, I'm going to add a little to my paw print, which is my cookie. I cut it from this, it's not quite cream colored paper. I thought that was a good color for a cookie, I guess. And then I'm adding some Snowfall grit paste to those paw print pieces. This is like my frosting. I just couldn't think of a better paste that I had on hand to use besides this one. And when in doubt, Snowfall grit paste. It's like my favorite thing. So I did it. I put it on all the pieces, and then I actually found it easier to hold the piece and put on my frosting than laying it on the tape. So you'll see me do that in just a minute. Right here. Yeah, so much easier. And then I can scrape the edges. Now, this is going to need to dry for some time, but before it dries, we're going to do a crucial step, and that step is called sprinkles. So I have the green sprinkles here. They have a technical name, but I don't remember it, so I'll just link it for you in the description box below, as with all the things I'm using, so you can check that out. And I am using the pickup stick to add sprinkles to each of these because it's a sugar cookie. It has to have sprinkles. So I'm also doing the brown, and that's gonna, I mean, it just makes this cookie. Without the sprinkles, it wouldn't give the cookie vibe. So everything got sprinkles, everything got a ton of sprinkles, and I was really hoping this was going to turn out okay. You know, I need to let this dry. This should be somewhat translucent when it dries, the paste. And while I was waiting, I added a little bit more concentrated ink to a few spots on my cookie. I let that dry, and I pulled out a mat for my background of this really dark brown, but it's huge. This card is going to be 6 by 6 inches. So I used the middle of that layer to die cut out my words. The frame for the coolest and you're the is also cut from that brown. Then I took the scraps from the Popsicle to die cut out the coolest and mount you're the on top of. So I've got my chocolate mint colored sentiments. And then I'm going to do one more word for my card, and I'm going to use a alphabet die for that. This is the Modern Embossed Edge Alphabet, and I happen to have this glittered fun foam in brown. So I'm going to die cut the word dog. So my card's either going to say you're the coolest dog or you're the coolest dog. Either way. Also, I decided to make my cookie more cookie-like. I would cut out a piece of white fun foam. Now, I had this fun foam I've had for 100 years. It's from Spellbinders. It is super duper thick, and so it's really going to look like a cookie, but I needed it to be a little bit more matchy-matchy with the top paper piece. So again, I pulled out my brush. I added no more ink to it, and I just dusted on that color. Then I could adhere the two together with a combination of tape runner and liquid glue. I'm going to let that set for days and days while I do some other things. And that is, first of all, white gel pen accents to my Popsicle. I wanted it to look a little bit shiny since it is an edible chocolatey treat. And so I added the white gel pen. It was just the thing that it needed. I think it just brings it to life. I love white gel pen highlights so much. Plus, you know, little freckles. You gotta have the little freckles, right? Okay, so here's the cookie pieces when they're mostly dry. It had been a few hours, and they're turning out pretty good. Like I really did have to take a picture of this and send it to my bestie and ask, does this look like a cookie? And then I asked my children as well. And so I did get confirmation that it looks like a cookie. So I went ahead and used it. Plus I used all those sprinkles, all that grit paste, all that time. So I'm loving how it turned out. So there's the cookie. It's nice and thick and tons of sprinkles. So let's put this card together. I'm putting the background on that mat. So my background is just under 4 3/4 of an inch squared. The brown mat is 4 3/4 of an inch squared. I'm adding on my darling Popsicle, if I don't say so myself, adding my sentiments next. So I'm putting "you're the coolest," and then for the word dog, I tried to do like the D and then the G and then the O. Luckily, I used liquid glue so I could scoot things around whenever my O was a little squished there. So there we go. "You're the coolest, dog." And then my cookie goes on. I love this. I'm so in love with all the paw print things we have in this release, and I have more ideas. So yeah, hopefully I'll get to playing with a lot of the other mom things from this new release because I'm so enamored with all of the animal things. So there's the finished card. You can see how thick that cookie is. You can see my little Popsicle shaker, and I'm really pleased with this. The only other thing I might do is add a little bow to my popsicle stick. I love doing that. So I might add a little bow of twine there. But that finishes up today's Popsicle card. Thank you so much for stopping by the Trinity Stamps channel. I will have a new video for you next Saturday, so come back then. And until then, here's a couple more videos you might enjoy. And you can find us on Instagram and Facebook for even more inspiration. So I will see you all again very soon. Happy stamping! Bye!